All right, so now we're going to learn how to use a standard form and what we can do with it. This is standard form of a linear equation. When an equation is in standard form, which looks like this, ax plus by equals c, it's easy to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, which are 2 points on the line, and therefore when we find those 2 points, we can graph it pretty easily. So let's take an example here. Here's an equation in standard form. Let's find the intercepts for 2x minus y equals to 4. Since the x-intercept is the point where the line crosses the x-axis, here's anywhere where a line crosses the x-axis here, the y will always be equal to 0. Here the y is 0, here the y is 0, here, and here where this line crosses, y is equal to 0. So that means that we could plug in 0 in for y and then solve for x to get the x-intercept. So for example, in this 2x minus y equals 4, we plug 0 in for y, and then we solve for x. We get x by itself, divide both sides by 2, and we get, in this case, x equals 2. So we just found the x-intercept. The x-intercept is 2, but it's really the point 2 comma 0. X is 2, and the y is 0. All right. The y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis, and anywhere on this y-axis, the x value is always equal to 0. X value is 0, x value is 0, x value is 0. Where that line crosses, the x value is always 0. So if we plug in 0 in for x and solve for y, we can get the y-intercept. Okay, so let's plug in 0 in for x in this same equation now. 2 times 0 is 0. Then 0 minus y is just minus y. We don't want to solve for a negative y, so let's divide both sides by -1, and we end up with y is equal to -4. And there we go. We just found the y-intercept is -4, which is located at the point x is 0, y is -4. Okay, so once we know that those two, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, it's really easy to graph the line. We just plot those 2 points. Here we have 2, 0, and 0, -4, and then we draw a line through them, and now we have our graph of 2x minus y equals 4. So all you need is 2 points, and for an equation in standard form, it's very easy to find the intercepts. We could find any 2 points, but it's just really easy to plug in 0 into either one of for x and y, in fact, both of them, to find those 2 intercepts or 2 specific points for that equation. Okay. Standard form is not very useful for finding much else, but it's a great form to use when solving systems of equations, and it's often the easiest form to use for some real-life situations. In fact, very naturally, many equations just come right out in standard form, and so we want to get very comfortable with that. So for example, Arushi has $72 to spend on presents for her friends, and she can buy either candles for $6 or scented lotions for $9. Write an equation that models this situation. All right, so we basically have $6 times the number of candles plus $9 times the number of lotions. All of that, the sum of those two should add up to 72. And there we go. We have an equation in standard form that came very naturally out of that situation. Okay, so it's helpful to know how to convert equations to and from standard form, especially to and from slope-intercept form. So before I have you guys go ahead and work on converting this point slope form into standard form, I'm not going to teach you the opposite. It's actually very easy. Remember, if you have something in standard form and you want to convert it into slope-intercept form, all you have to do is solve for y. So if we had something in this form, we would just have to subtract the ax from both sides and then divide by the b to get something into slope-intercept form. Let's go ahead and do the opposite, though. Let's convert this equation here, which is slope-intercept form, into standard form. All right, so we know that the x term needs to go first, and it should be positive. And all of these terms, the a, the b, and the c, must all be integer coefficients. Well, the a and b are coefficients, and c, the constant term, must also be an integer. In this case, we could start off by flipping the two sides of the equation. We want x on the left, so let's get this whole side here on the left and this on the right. We'll just go ahead and flip those around here. So we just basically switch the y and the 1/2 x minus 5. So now we have x on the left-hand side. Okay, and then we don't want we want everything to be integers in this. So we're going to take the 1/2 and multiply it by 2. We actually multiply everything by 2 to get x. The 2 times the -5 gives us -10. I should have said the 2 times the 1/2 x just gives us x, and 2 times y gives us 2y. So now we have all integer coefficients. The only thing at this point, we want the minus 10, we want the constant term on the right and the y term on the left, because this is the standard way of writing that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's add 10 to both sides to get the constant term on the right, and then let's subtract 2y from both sides to get the y term on the left. And now, there it is. We have it in standard form. All right, so let's have you do one on your own here. Go ahead and convert this equation into standard form.